We are talking about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, directed by Milos Forman. Yes, it's a good film. Gonna tell you right now, Jack Nicholson is a rapist. No, his character is in this film. He does things to an underage girl, and it's very disgusting. And you're told that within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the film. So don't worry, I didn't spoil anything for you. That's just there. Why did I bring that up? Because I found it very jarring, and I was like, this is our this is the protagonist. But here's the thing, the movie doesn't try to excuse it, and that's when it became better. And I like that, because when you have a character who is very, from the get-go, a horrible person, you don't try to you don't try to make it seem like they're not. And honestly, the movie doesn't. I like that, and I respect the fact that the movie does that. It doesn't try to justify it. It very clearly states he is a criminal, and he is someone who is a horrible person. Now, he's nice inside, but it's never. Let me explain, right? The movie doesn't try to mask it as, oh, but he's such a sweetheart to the other inmates. Like, everything Jack Nicholson does throughout this film is very much for himself, and because he wants to stick it up to the authority, which is, I think she won an Oscar for this, right? What's her name? Fletcher. I was about to say Fletcher. Yeah, I think she won an Oscar for this. Um, he wants to stick it up to her, so he takes the inmates away. But throughout the movie, everything he does is for himself until the very end. But I'm not gonna get into spoilers. But I like that. I like that the movie is not trying to justify what he did. It does kind of glorify him as a hero towards the end, but it's never a major issue. Like, let's be honest, it's never a major issue. But yeah, just having that straight up out of the bat was a bit, I was just like, oh fuck, our protagonist is like a rapist. And I was like, oh, that's not fun. But the movie is good, man. The movie is really good. Jack Nicholson, I think he won an Oscar for this. I think he won an Oscar too. First of all, okay, Jack Nicholson and Louis Fletcher. Louis Fletcher, or Nurse Mildred, I should say, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is Mildred. She's considered like one of the best villains of all time. I would disagree. I don't think she's a villain in this movie. She is, however, a very good antagonist in this film. Like, she is very much an antagonist in this film because Jack Nicholson is the protagonist. And it works. I think her performance is very fun. I don't think that's the right word. It's a very subtle performance. So you have Jack Nicholson on one side of the coin who's giving a very performance, and then you have Louis Fletcher who's giving a very laid back performance, and both are doing really well in this movie. Did she deserve an Oscar for it? I don't know. I don't know how Oscar decides who gets the movies or not. Like, I didn't think it was like an Oscar winning performance. I didn't think Jack Nicholson was also doing an Oscar winning performance, but the fuck do I know? I'm not part of the Oscar board. This is a great film. You know who was standing out in this film? Brad Dourif. That's right. Chucky. Brad Dourif is very young in this film, and he is so supple, and just he's so young. He's incredible in this film. He plays his character so well. For me, Brad Dourif is the one I would choose to really be performance of the movie. He's just doing such a good job. And I think the movie is really good in terms of the story as well, right? I think the story is very simple. It deviates into shenanigans very soon, but I like it. It really shows how there's a lot of fuck. Okay, see, this is the thing. I don't want to get into like deep details of this film, but I love how there's a scene where some people are like, "Oh yeah, no, I choose to come here," and Jack Nicholson's like, "Wait, you're not stuck here." And then some of them are like, "No, no, I choose to come here," and I think it's very fascinating how then you get into the more layers of the story where you're like, okay, like people would rather be here in this insane house because it's more bearable than their normal lives. And then you have Jack Nicholson's character who's like Randall, I think, who's trying to, why am I saying I think? It is Randall, who's trying to like get out of a certain jail time, but he doesn't realize that in jail it's limited, but here he can be kept forever, and he tries to escape multiple times. And it's just, I feel like the repercussions for him are They come a little too late considering the stuff he pulls throughout the movie. But yeah, the end is what really seals it. I don't want to spoil the movie because I do think this is one of those films you should watch on your own. Yeah, the ending is also one of it's iconic because an Indian movie copied it. I think Tere Naam. I think Tere Naam copied it towards the end where I won't spoil it again, but I looked at the ending and I was like, that's like scene for scene the same ending which was ripped in the Indian movie. But it's a good ending. And yeah, it's the native who I think isn't so help me explain this in the comments. So when they say one flew over the cuckoo's nest, they're talking about the native, right? Because he's the one who flies in the end. Again, and also this is based on a book. And of course, you have the book people are like, oh, actually, the book was way better. Like, shut up. We're here to enjoy the movie, talk about the movie. If you're not able to separate the book from the movie, that's on you. Maybe you should not go into a movie expecting to for it to live up to the book because the book is obviously going to be the better source material. But those of you who've just watched the movie or are able to distinguish the two, like explain to me, like why who is the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest? It is the native in the end who escaped. Spoilers. But yeah, this is like a great film. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it deserves the praise. It's got a incredibly high rating. I don't think it's a perfect film. I don't think it's one of those films. Like again, I think the fact that he's a rapist just kind of immediately killed the vibe at the very first few minutes of the film, where I was like, hmm. But then it makes up for it because the movie is actually well rounded. It doesn't try to hide it. Doesn't try to play around the fact. And there's other characters you like in this movie as well. Brad Dourif, beautiful. But yeah, this movie gets a 4 out of 5 from me. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really good film. Yeah, I have nothing more to add, honestly. The Oscar wins, I don't really care because even if you didn't give them an Oscar for these roles, it doesn't change the fact that they're doing incredibly well. Like, these are good performances from both of them. So, yeah, that's going to be it from me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.